Hello, everybody. It's Double T Man with another video. Today is September 6th. Yep, September 6th. I think Kansas City just beat Baltimore to open up the season, the 2024 season. Is it going to be about 2024 Pittsburgh Steelers? Here's what I think. This is not something that I've done a lot of studying on, so it's probably not much value to everybody else. Kind of fell off the radar, kind of dropped down when Kenny Pickett got traded. Thought that was a mistake. Thought that Kenny Pickett was a good quarterback, really good quarterback in the fourth quarter. 6'3", good weight, good athlete, worked hard, really worked hard. Could throw a good pass, could run a little bit too. Could the quarterback sneak? Boom, 3rd and 1 is a first down every time. Nobody stopped him. So, a lot of good things about Kenny Pickett. I know he got traded. That's a Mike Tomlin mistake, and I'll get back to that a little bit later. Yeah, but I believe in Pickett. On paper, or actually situationally, Pickett is better than Fields. Fields is going to be a free agent after this year. Kenny Pickett, we still have 2 more years. Situationally, Pickett's better. I actually think Pickett's better than Justin Fields. I waited until I saw him. I waited until I saw him in the preseason. It has potential. I'm not even going to deny that. He could be a great quarterback someday. But he doesn't have it. Throwing, he doesn't have it. Running, he certainly does. But he doesn't have it throwing. And no running quarterback has ever won the Super Bowl. I'm going to go with the guy who, if I look it up under quarterbacks, what type wins the Super Bowl, 100% of them look like Kenny Pickett. 0 look like Justin Fields. So I think it's a mistake. That's If it was just that, I wouldn't be down on the Steelers. By the way, they did trade for the 2. First, they got, the draft picks were kind of negligible between the 2. So they really did. They traded away Pickett to get Justin Fields. We'll see how it works out. I think it's a mistake. Prior to that, and there are 3 reasons why I'm really down. Like I said, Kenny Pickett trade was the last straw. Quarterback, short term, we look pretty good. I like Russell Wilson. I think he could win a championship with him. I think Justin Fields has the potential of actually winning the championship. To play the right kind. You limit his throws. You can run your way to it. Everybody else is doing worried about pass defense. You get into that running game like Baltimore. You're different from most teams, and that really throws them off. So you can win a lot of games that way, including the playoffs when the weather's bad. But anyways, this year's quarterback situation is good, but there is no quarterback situation next year. They don't have one. Period. End of stop. That's it. Okay. So the quarterback situation's lousy. We work our way up the chain of command. Coaching. At the end of last year, Mike Tomlin announced to the world through the media, this is during the season, but at the end of the season, he announced to the world he wanted traded. Not that he was open to it, which is what the media said. That's what was announced. But by saying that, his actions saying he wanted to be traded. He wanted to go somewhere else. My guess is he wanted to go to Washington. They had an open position and a new ownership. Okay. Immediately, Art Rooney says no. Well, Tomlin is an above average quarterback that can't win a Super Bowl. Or no. I overspoke. I misspoke, not overspoke. Mike Tomlin is an above average quarterback that cannot develop a Super Bowl championship team. He cannot mold a Super Bowl championship team. He cannot create a Super Bowl championship team. He's been in the league, 19 years, and he won the Super Bowl in his 2nd year and hasn't won one since. That 2nd year was with Cowher's players. Not an insult. That's just a fact. When people used to say it early on, I thought that's a ridiculous. That's an insult at that point because that's all he could do. You can't do better than win the Super Bowl. If he wins the Super Bowl and he wins it with Cowher's players, doesn't matter. He still won the Super Bowl. 17 years later, well, now that's a true criticism. You haven't won one. You haven't built a Super Bowl team. You haven't. In fact, the last 13 years, you haven't built a team capable of getting to the championship. So you haven't even been a contender in 13 years. That's bad. By any measurement, that's bad. Should have traded him. I think they could have got the second round pick last year, which would have been the second pick in the second round, so a really significant pick, and then the first round pick in the following year. Why? Because Washington was going to get their star quarterback at the beginning of the first round. They had a new ownership. They wanted to bring in a new culture. Mike Tomlin is not only a head coach, he brings the Pittsburgh Steelers culture with him, the organizational stuff that you can steal from the Steelers. It makes him much more valuable than just your average head coach, and actually much more valuable for Washington than he is for Pittsburgh. For Pittsburgh, he's an above average quarterback that can't build a Super Bowl championship team. For Washington, he gets to bring the whole Steelers organization with a really good coach, and now you have this, second pick in the draft and Jaden Daniels, and you hope it's a fantastic quarterback. Okay, so they would have done that, I think, maybe even more. But Art Rooney, who lives in his fears, said, "Hey, immediately, no, we're not going to do it." Why? According to news reports, or according to news speculation, probably more accurately, he didn't want to be the guy known as the owner that traded away a Hall of Fame coach. Okay, let's assume Mike Tomlin's a Hall of Fame coach because everybody else has a higher opinion of him than I do. Uh, well, actually, let me let me expand on that just a little bit more. It's not just the record because you can say numbers, whatever. Mike Tomlin is not good at challenges. He's not good at developing coaches. Look at his coaching tree. Look at his accolades when it comes to developing young coaches. There is none. None. Zero. 19 years as a head coach, and his coaching tree is null. No. No, 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 no. That is a bad thing. Along with the challenges, by the way. You're better off flipping a coin. May not be the biggest thing in the world. Maybe that's why I don't get rid of him. And misuse of personnel. I think he misuses personnel all over the place. He delays rookies playing. I understand giving them a rest. I understand the rookie wall and starting them in that way. I get all that. And a lot of it is good. And, I don't mind what they did with Broderick Jones last year. I did not think what they did with Joey Porter Jr. was good last year. I didn't think what they did with Darnell Washington was good last year. I don't think what they're doing with Jones on the offensive line, Broderick Jones on the offensive line. Play him at right side all preseason. He's going to play left side in the regular season. He doesn't have that many games in college on the left-hand side. He needs all the work he can get. That mistake will cost the Steelers all year, a little bit, just not a lot. Not going to mean they're horrible or anything like that. It just means it's going to be a little bit longer until they get better. It's going to be a little bit longer until Broderick Jones overtakes Dan Moore in the starting role. It's going to be a little bit longer until they merge. It's going to be a little bit longer until they get better and better and better. And by the end of the season, they should be pretty good, but they won't be as good as they would have been had they done the preseason correctly. Mike Tomlin does not know how to use personnel. Mark Robinson is not an inside linebacker. Never has been, never should have been. Inside linebacker is the quarterback of the defense. You have to have brains and experience. This guy played offense. You have to teach him how to tackle. And then you're going to give him the most complicated position that requires a lot of experience, and he only has 2 years of college experience as a linebacker. Otherwise, he's a running back. You put him at the outside, use his explosiveness, use his athleticism. He would be a really good outside linebacker, but he's being wasted on the inside. So there's more examples. I can go through a lot of them. But he misuses personnel. It's not just the numbers. The numbers support it, but there's a lot of other stuff to go with. This is not to say he's a horrible coach. He does a lot of things really good. I'm not going to go through all those because I'm going to run out of time if I do that. But I will say he has a lot of good qualities. He also has some bad ones. I don't think he's that great. Art Rooney should have traded him. Art Rooney is not his dad. And I'm okay with that. I really am. Dan Rooney was the architect and the reason the Steelers won 6 Super Bowls. Stop. Period. End of story. He's the one consistent thing. He's the one responsible for the 1974 draft. He's the one responsible for drafting Ben Roethlisberger. He's responsible for all 6 Super Bowls. Art Rooney, he just wants to win a playoff game. Right? Every team, Steelers, I don't care who you are. And I know we're spoiled, but it doesn't matter. If you're a fan of your team, every team, the goal is to win the Super Bowl. Never a winning record. Yeah, you want a winning record this year because you have sucked for so long. Okay, maybe, I don't know what that's like. Pittsburgh hasn't been there. But your end goal, and you're only going to be satisfied when you win the Super Bowl. And even then, you're going to want to win another one. You're never satisfied. But the goal is always to win the Super Bowl. If it isn't, then what are you doing? I think I'm holding out until Art Rooney passes it down to his son because I knew he wouldn't be as good as Dan. Dan's one of the best football minds of all time. He's on the Mount Rushmore. Art Rooney was never going to be that good. But it doesn't have to be this bad. The Steelers overall this year, they look pretty good. The defense should be really, really good. The linebackers, fantastic. The secondary, wow. I mean, people are underestimating this, but when Cam Sutton comes back, that has a chance to be a really special secondary. Not special, special. I mean, but it could be damn good. Defensive line should be good enough. Offensive line, like I said, Tomlin screwed up. We'll see it develop. I wouldn't be surprised if Broderick Jones is on the bench for a couple of weeks getting healthy. We'll have to play the rookie Falatanu and Dan Moore on the left side and have him practice and stuff and work him in that way. I still think it's a mistake, but we'll see how it works out. Um, Offensive line will probably start off weak because they are starting rookies. They'll get better and better and better. Plus, Sayamalu got hurt. By the end of the season, it should be pretty good, maybe even championship level, kind of an offensive line. Good enough, not great offensive line, but good enough to win the championship. Uh, Running backs, I think, are fantastic. Tight ends, I think, are fantastic. Quarterbacks have a chance of being fantastic. George Pickens has a chance of being fantastic. And as far as that second receiver, we'll have to see. May not need it. If you have two really good tight ends, Darnell Washington and Pat Freiermuth, and you got two good running backs, and Jalen Warren and Najee Harris, and you have that throw up the ball, 2, 3 people on them, still going to get it, George Pickens, you got a chance. If the defense is good as it could be, we'll see. I'm guessing 10-7. I don't think they're going to win that. Actually, I don't think they're going to win that playoff game. I think they're going to go all in to win a playoff game. I don't think they're going to do it. But they could win the Super Bowl. My prediction is they'll make the playoffs, but they will not make it. 10-7 record. Probably a wild card. I don't think they'll win the division with it. Could be wrong. I'm down on the Steelers. Till I see something, I'm going to remain down on them. By the way, the punter is a nice upgrade. Interested in the kickoffs to see how they go. What else is there? I think that's about it. Maybe when the Steelers get good, I'll do it again. Maybe when Art Rooney passes it down, I'll start paying attention. We'll see what happens. It's Double T. Out.